Hello and welcome to Wellness Unplugged, the podcast where we talk about real, raw, and often controversial parts of being human. I'm Lesley, and today we're diving deep into a topic that's often misunderstood, oversimplified, and weaponized in the name of self-improvement: emotional regulation. Now let's start with something that might surprise you. Emotional regulation does not mean staying calm all the time. It's not about suppressing how you feel. It's not about being zen in every situation. And it's definitely not about pretending you're okay for the comfort of others. Emotional regulation means that you get to feel what you feel without being hijacked by it. It means that you can sit with discomfort without it dictating your choices. It's about responding instead of reacting. I'll say that again. Emotional regulation is about responding instead of reacting. Today we're unpacking what emotional regulation really is, why it matters, what happens when we don't learn to do it, and how we can begin to reclaim it, especially if no one ever taught us how. What is emotional regulation really? Well, put simply, emotional regulation is your ability to experience and manage your emotions in a way that is flexible, conscious, and safe for both you and those around you. It means you can recognize what you're feeling, understand where it's coming from, and decide how best to respond. Not react out of old wounds, or explode or implode, not numb out or lash out. Think of it as the difference between slamming your foot on the accelerator every time something upsets you versus being able to gently tap the brakes, breathe, and then choose the right direction. It's the difference between feeling an emotion and becoming that emotion. So what happens when we don't have the skill to tell the difference between feeling and becoming? Well, we enter the world of emotional dysregulation. This might show up as mood swings that feel disproportionate, meltdowns over seemingly small, trivial things, struggling to return to calm states after conflict, feeling ashamed or confused after an outburst, or even shutting down entirely. Dysregulation is exhausting. It hurts, not just internally, but relationally. It affects how we parent, how we partner, and how we perform. And here's the part that doesn't get said enough. Most of us were not taught how to regulate. So we carry dysregulation into adulthood like a silent epidemic. Emotional regulation doesn't just appear one day. It's something we're meant to learn through relationships, especially those in childhood. When a child is met with calm, compassion, and consistency, even in their chaos, they learn that emotions are safe, that they are safe. But when children are ignored, punished, shamed, or even gaslit for their feelings, they internalize a different message. Feelings are dangerous. I must hide or control them. And this isn't always the result of abuse or neglect. Sometimes it's a well-meaning parent who was never taught how to sit with their own emotions. If you've never seen emotional regulation modeled, how can you possibly know how to do it? So where does this dysregulation come from? Well, it's really just one thing. It's usually a combination of factors: biological, psychological, and environmental. Trauma, especially in childhood, can disrupt the brain's development and keep the nervous system on high alert. This makes self-regulating nearly impossible because the body never feels safe. In terms of genetics, some of us are just wired to feel more deeply or react more strongly. That's not a flaw, it's temperament. But without the right tools, it can become overwhelming. In terms of our environment, if emotions weren't welcomed, if they were met with silence, shame, or rage, you would have learned to either suppress or explode. Either way, you weren't regulating. you were surviving. Mental health disorders such as ADHD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, these all impact emotional regulation. Particularly with ADHD, you might experience irritability, overstimulation, or impulsive emotional shifts. Nervous system dysregulation. When your nervous system is constantly in a fight or flight or freeze mode, emotional regulation becomes physiologically out of reach. You cannot logic your way through it. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to. This is not your fault. What shaped you may not have been your choice, but healing it, that is your choice. So how do we regulate? So let's move from insight into action. There are simple, grounded tools. And no, this is not a one-size-fits-all, but these are starting points for you to consider. My favorite one. Name it to tame it. Label your emotion. I feel rejected. I'm scared of being abandoned. I'm furious and it feels unjust. When you name an emotion, you create space between you and the feeling, and it gives you choices. Number 2, breathe with intention. Try the 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the one that says, we're safe now. Number 3, separate feeling from action. You can feel anger without breaking something. You can feel sadness without isolation. Feelings are information, not instruction. Number 4, co-regulate. We don't always heal alone. Sometimes we just need someone to sit with us, to offer us their presence without fixing things. That's co-regulation, and it's really powerful. Number 5, build tolerance for discomfort. You won't die from an emotion, even if it feels like you will. Just stay with it. Let it pass through. It will. Number 6, talk to your inner child. When you're triggered in some way, ask yourself, how old is this part of me? Often it's a childlike self reacting from an old wound. Speak to them gently. Remind them, we're safe now. We're not alone. We've got this. We can control this. A final thought here. Emotional regulation isn't suppression. It's liberation. It's not about being chill all the time. It's not about being okay with everything. It's about staying present, embodied and anchored, even when the waves hit. Regulation is a radical act of self-respect. It's choosing not to abandon yourself in the moment you need yourself the most. Wow, that's heavy, so let's do it again. Regulation is a radical act of self-respect. It's choosing not to abandon yourself in the moment you need yourself the most. And here's the most important thing I can say today. You don't need to feel less. You need to feel safe. If this episode brought something up for you, maybe a memory, a realization, or even a little bit of grief, I want you to know it's okay. It means something inside of you is stirring. Don't run away from it. Get curious about it. You can write to me or share your story via email. I'm available on info@lesleyharvey.co.za. I'd love to hear how your emotional regulation or dysregulation has shown up in your life. And I'll leave you with this insight from Glennon Doyle. You are not a mess. You are a deeply feeling person in a very messy world. Thank you so much for listening to Wellness Unplugged. Until next time, unplug, recharge, and remember, your wellness matters more than you think.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.